A panegyric on the Dean, in the person of a lady, in the North L 1730, by Jonathan Swift. Resolved my gratitude to show thrice Reverend Dean, for all I owe too long, I have my thanks delayed, your favors left too long unpaid. But now in all our sex's name, my artless muse shall sing your fame. Indulgent you to female kind, to all their weaker sides, are blind 9 more such champions, as the Dean would soon restore our ancient reign. How well to win the ladies' hearts, you celebrate their wit and parts. How have I felt my spirits raised, by you so oft, so highly praised. Transformed by your convincing tongue, to witty, beautiful, and young I hope, to quit that awkward shame, affected by each vulgar dame, to modesty a weak pretense, and soon grow pert on men of sense, to show my face with scornful air, let others match it if they dare. Impatient to be out of debt, O may I never once forget the bard, who humbly deigns to choose me for the subject of his muse. Behind my back, before my nose, he sounds my praise in verse and prose. My heart with emulation burns to make you suitable returns. My gratitude the world shall know, and see the printer's boy below. Ye hawkers, all your voices lift a panegyric on Dean Swift. And then to mend the matter still by Lady Anne of Market Hill too, I thus begin my grateful muse. Salutes the Dean in different views, Dean, Butler, Usher, Jester, Tutor, Robert, and Darby's 3 coadjutor. And as you in commission sit to rule the dairy next to Kit 4 in each capacity, I mean to sing your praise, and first as Dean envy must own you understand your precedence, and support your grandeur, nor of your rank will bait an ace, except to give Dean Daniel 5 place. In you such dignity appears so suited to your state and years. With ladies, what a strict decorum! With what devotion you adore em. Treat me with so much complaisance, as fits a princess in romance. By your example and assistance, the fellows learn to know their distance. Sir Arthur, since you set the pattern, no longer calls me snipe and slattern, nor dares he, though he were a duke, offend me with the least rebuke. Proceed we to your preaching 5 next. How nice you split the hardest text. How your superior learning shines above our neighboring dull divines. At Beggar's Opera not so full pit is seen as when you mount our pulpit. Consider now your conversation, regardful of your age and station you near, were known by passion stirred to give the least offensive word. But still, whene'er you silence, break watch, every syllable you speak, your style so clear and so concise, we never ask to hear you twice. But then a parson so genteel, so nicely clad from head to heel, so fine a gown, a band, so clean as well becomes St. Patrick's Dean, such reverential or express, that cowboys know you by your dress. Then if our neighboring friends come here, how proud are we when you appear with such address and graceful port, as clearly shows you bred at court. Now raise your spirits, Mr. Dean, I laid you to a nobler scene. When to the vault you walk in state, in quality of butlers, 6 mate you next to Dennis, 7 bear the sway to you. We often trust the key, nor can he judge, with all his art, so well what bottle holds a quart, what pints may best for bottles pass, just to give every man his glass, when proper to produce the best, and what may serve a common guest. With Dennis you did near combine, not you to steal your master's wine, except a bottle now, and then to welcome brother serving men, but that is with a good design to drink Sir Arthur's health, and mine your master's honor to maintain, and get the like returns again. Your usher's 8 post must next be handled, how blessed am I by such a man led, under whose wise and careful guardship I now despise fatigue and hardship, familiar grown to dirt, and wet though draggled round, I scorn to fret from you my chamber, damsels learn my broken hose to patch and darn. Now as a jester I accost you, which never yet one friend has lost you. You judge so nicely to a hair how far to go, and when to spare, by long experience grown, so wise of every taste to know the size, there's none so ignorant or weak, to take offence at what you speak. 9, whene'er you joke, tease all a case, whether with Dermot or his grace, with Teague O'Murphy, or an earl, a duchess, or a kitchen girl. With such dexterity, you fit their several talents with your wit, that Moll the chambermaid can smoke, and Gahagan take every joke. I now become your humble suitor to let me praise you as my tutor poor, I a savage bred, and born by you instructed every morn already have improved so well, that I have almost learnt to spell the neighbours who come here to dine admire to hear me speak so fine. How enviously the ladies look when they surprise me at my book. And sure as they're alive at night, as soon as gone, will show their spite. Good Lord, what can my lady mean, conversing with that rusty dean? She's grown so nice and so penurious with Socrates and Epicurus. How could she sit the livelong day, yet never ask us once to play? But I admire your patience most, that when I am duller than a post, nor can the plainest word pronounce, you neither fume, nor fret, nor flounce, are so indulgent, and so mild as if I were a darling child. So gentle is your whole proceeding, that I could spend my life in reading. You merit new employments daily, are Thatcher, Ditcher, Gardner, Bailey. And to a genius so extensive no work is grievous or offensive, whether your fruitful fancy lies to make for pigs convenient sties, or ponder long with anxious thought to banish rats that haunt our vault, nor have you grumbled, Reverend Dean, to keep our poultry sweet and clean, to sweep the mansion house they dwell in, and cure the rank unsavory smelling. Now enter, as the dairy handmaid, such charming butter, 14, never man made. Let others with fanatic face talk of their milk, for babes of grace, from tubs their snuffling nonsense, utter thy milk, shall make us tubs of butter. The bishop with his foot may burn it, but with his hand the dean can churn it. How are the servants overjoyed to see thy deanship thus employed, instead of poring on a book, providing butter for the cook. 3 morning hours you toss, and shake the bottle till your fingers ache hard, is the toil, nor small the art the butter from the way to part. Behold a frothy substance, rise, be cautious, or your bottle flies. The butter comes, our fears are ceased, and out you squeeze an ounce at least. Your reverence thus with like success, nor is your skill or labour less, when bent upon some smart lampoon, will toss and turn your brain till noon, which in its jumblings round the skull dilates, and makes the vessel full, while nothing comes but froth. At first you think your giddy head will burst, but squeezing out 4 lines in rhyme are largely paid for all your time. But you have raised your generous mind to works of more exalted kind. Palladio was not half so skilled in the grandeur or the art of building. 2 temples of magnific size attract the curious traveller's eyes, that might be envied by the Greeks, raised up by you in 20 weeks here. Gentle goddess Closine receives all offerings at her shrine. In separate cells the he's and she's here pay their vows on bended knees, for 'tis profane when sexes mingle, and every nymph must enter single, and when she feels an inward motion come filled with reverence and devotion. The bashful maid, to hide her blush, shall creep no more behind a bush here unobserved. She boldly goes, as who should say to pluck a rose. Ye who frequent this hallowed scene, be not ungrateful to the dean, but duly ere you leave your station offer to him a pure libation, or of his own, or Smedley's lay, or billet doux, or lock of hay. And oh, may all who hither come return with unpolluted thumb. Yet when your lofty domes I praise, I sigh to think of ancient days. Permit me then to raise my style, and sweetly moralize a while. The bounteous goddess Closine to temples why do we confine? Forbid in open air to breathe, why are thine altars fixed beneath? When Saturn ruled the skies alone, that golden age to gold, unknown this earthly globe to thee assigned, received the gifts of all mankind. 10,000 altars smoking round were built to thee with offerings crowned, and here thy daily votaries placed their sacrifice with zeal, and haste the margin of a purling stream sent up to thee a grateful steam, though sometimes thou wert pleased to wink if naiads swept them from the brink, or where appointing lovers rove the shelter of a shady grove, or offered in some flowery vale, were wafted by a gentle gale, there many a flower obtrusive grew, thy favourite flowers of yellow hue, the crocus and the daffodil, the cowslip soft and sweet jonquil. But when at last usurping Jove old Saturn from his empire drove, then Gluttony with greasy paws, her napkin pinned up to her jaws, with watery chops and wagging chin, braced like a drum her oily skin, wedged in a spacious elbow chair, and on her plate a treble share, as if she ne'er could have enough taught harmless man to cram and stuff. She sent her priests in wooden shoes from haughty Gaul to make ragouts instead of wholesome bread and cheese, to dress their soups and fricassees, and for our homebred British cheer, botargo catsup and caviar. This bloated harpy sprung from hell confined the goddess to a cell sprung from her womb, that impious line, contemners of thy rites divine. First lolling sloth in woolen cap, taking her after-dinner nap pale dropsy, with a sallow face her belly burst and slow her pace, and lordly gout wrapped up in fur, and wheezing asthma loth, to stir voluptuous ease the child of wealth, infecting thus our hearts by stealth. None seek thee now in open air to thee no verdant altars rear, but in their cells and vaults, obscene present a sacrifice unclean, from whence unsavory vapors rose offensive to thy nicer nose. Ah, who in our degenerate days as nature prompts his offering pays? Here nature never difference made between the scepter and the spade. Ye great ones, why will ye disdain to pay your tribute on the plain? Why will you place in lazy pride your altars near your couch's side, when from the homeliest earthen, where are sent up offerings more sincere than where the haughty duchess locks her silver vase in cedar box? Yet some devotion still remains among our harmless northern swains, whose offerings placed in golden ranks adorn our crystal river's banks, nor seldom grace the flowery downs with spiral tops, and couple 27 crowns or gilding in a sunny morn the humble branches of a thorn. So poets sing with golden bow the Trojan hero paid his vow hither by luckless error, led the crude consistence, oft I tread here, when my shoes are out of case, unweeding gild, the tarnished lace here by the sacred bramble tinged my petticoat is doubly fringed. Be witness for me, nymph, divine, I never robbed thee with design, nor will the zealous Hannah pout to wash thy injured offering out. But stop, ambitious muse, in time, nor dwell on subjects too sublime. In vain on lofty heels I tread, aspiring to exalt my head, with hoop expanded wide and light in vain, I tempt too high a flight. Me Phoebus 29, in a midnight dream 30 accosting, said, go shake your cream. 31, be humbler-minded, know your post, sweeten your tea, and watch your toast. The best befits a lowly style, teach Dennis how to stir the guile, with Peggy Dixon thoughtful sit, contriving for the pot and spit. Take down thy proudly swelling sails, and rub thy teeth, and pare thy nails, at nicely carving show thy wit, but ne'er presume to eat a bit, turn every way thy watchful eye, and every guest be sure to ply, let never at your board be known an empty plate, except your own. Be these thy arts, nor higher aim than what befits a rural dame. But close in a goddess bright sleek claims her, as his right, and Smedley flower of all divines shall sing the Dean in Smedley's lines. Footnote 1, the Lady of Sir Arthur Akeson. Footnote 2, a village near Sir Arthur Akeson's house, where the author passed 2 summers, Dublin edition. Footnote 3, the names of 2 overseers. Footnote 4, My Lady's Footman. Footnote 4, Dr. Daniel Dean of Down, who wrote several poems. Footnote 5, the author preached, but once while he was there. Footnote 6, he sometimes used to direct the butler. Footnote 7, the butler. Footnote 8, he sometimes used to walk with the lady, see ante p. 96. Footnote 9, the neighboring ladies were no great understanders of raillery. Footnote 10, the clown that cut down the old thorn at Market Hill. Footnote 11, see ante, My Lady's Lamentation, p. 97, W.E.B. Footnote 12, Lady Akeson was daughter of Philip Savage Roman 1000 p. for Wexford and Chancellor of the Exchequer in Ireland, W.E.B. Footnote 13, understood here as dainty particular, W.E.B. Footnote 14, a way of making butter for breakfast by filling a bottle with cream and shaking it till the butter comes. Footnote 15, it is a common saying when the milk burns that the devil or the bishop has set his foot in it. Footnote 16, see Vol. IP 203, W.E.B. Footnote 27, fragments of stone. Footnote 28, Virgi nados lib Roman 6. Footnote 29, Cynthius aurum velit, et admanuit virg ecloga Roman 6:3. Footnote 30 post medium noctum visus, cum somnia veraher sat, ix 33. Footnote 31 in the bottle, to make butter. Footnote 32, the quantity of ale or beer brewed at one time. Footnote 33, Mrs. Dixon, the housekeeper. Footnote 34, hac tibi, erunt artisverg, in Roman 6, 852. Footnote 35, a very stupid, insolent, factious, deformed, conceited person, a vile pretender to poetry preferred by the Duke of Grafton for his wit.